TEDxFondduLac.
Hi! Hi, guys. I'm your after lunch entertainment. I started beatboxing at the age of 12 because I was deeply in love with the television show American Idol. And there was a contestant named Blake Lewis who was known for infusing, I see some nods, I like that, Idol fans, who was known for infusing beatboxing into his performances. And like any middle schooler, I wanted to be cool. So what better way to be cool than to learn how to make drum noises with your mouth? I was a strange child. I'm largely self-taught, so to start, I just started by emulating what other beatboxers did and tried to go from there. So over some time, I mastered the three basic sounds: the kick drum, the hi-hat, and the snare. However, this useless talent of mine was often discouraged by people who thought it was annoying, or I was 12, so, or thought I had way too much time on my hands if that's how I was spending it. And I hear these phrases thrown around a lot: hidden talent, useless talent. And the two are almost synonymous to me, because if you have a hidden talent, it's probably hidden because you think it has no real life application to what you're doing whatsoever. As a grad student who spends a fair amount of time doing research, I started preparations for this talk by doing a literature review of sorts of other TED Talks. And of course, I found so many about beatboxing. Found 3. However, 2 of those 3 have over 12 million views, so like we're representing pretty well, so which makes me really nervous. I've gotten used to being intrigued by a diverse range of almost obscure topics. By trade, I'm a master's student, about a year away from becoming thousands of dollars in debt, and a certified therapeutic recreation specialist, which can be a terribly difficult thing to explain concisely when I'm inevitably asked, so what does that mean? For me, it means that I promote the enhancement of quality of life and healing through the therapeutic use of animals, particularly horses, music, and other alternative therapies that use leisure and recreation to create a space for vulnerability and creativity for people from all walks of life. So, some of the topics of other beatboxing TED Talks that I discovered were basic beatboxing 101 lessons with the audience, what the power of the human voice is, lessons in loop pedals, and the origins of beatboxing in Brooklyn in the 1980s. So, like any good researcher, I intend to
Build on that. Go.
just something I picked up along the way. I was finally able to find a home for the drum inside my body during my junior year of college. I went to the University of Kentucky, go Cats, for my undergrad, and there was an all-girls a cappella group called Pause and Listen. However, in order to audition for the group, you had to be a part of the university women's choir. Now, I sang, but I've never been classically trained or anything like that. And one of my good friends was the president of the choir at the time, and so she encouraged me to join an audition. And I said, I'm going to be surrounded by all these vocal powerhouses, and thanks, but no thanks. But for some reason, after the first day of class, I was literally on my way back to my apartment and decided to turn around and sign up to audition. For someone who'd been given the whole upperclassman speech of, I just have so many regrets that I didn't try different things in college, so my biggest piece of advice for you would be to just go for it. I don't know why, but that was like a surefire way to get me to do things in undergrad. Like I was going to miss out on some life-changing event by not going to the Student Activity Board's luau. I don't know. So a week later, I showed up to audition, and I was terrified. And my fear quickly turned into awkward laughter at being fawned over. See, I guess the group had been struggling to find someone to beatbox, and so when this all 4'11" of me showed up, already knowing how, yes, that's how tall I am. Y'all, I've never felt so special in my entire life. Like, you know the movie franchise Pitch Perfect, I got to be their Anna Kendrick, and any way that I can be more like Anna Kendrick is a huge win for me. It was amazing. Oh. And yet, despite being a part of this group and helping them achieve the most success they'd ever had, competing at ICCAs, yes, like the competition in Pitch Perfect, having our competition pieces arranged by Rob Dietz, who worked as a vocal arranger on the TV show The Sing-Off, which is where Pentatonics came from, and also where Paz's brother group, the Acousticats, competed. We have an EP on Spotify. We got to perform all around Kentucky and out of state. We got to perform with a high school a cappella group who's won numerous awards called One Voice. One time someone even asked me for my autograph, and I've never been married or I don't have kids, so I can honestly still say that that's like the peak moment of my life. Sorry, kids. But throughout all that, still the biggest question that I got was, well, how are you even going to use that after college? I don't know, it just seems like a big waste of time to me. And I hated hearing that for two reasons. One, because people were overwhelmingly under the assumption that there was no possible way that I could use it after college. Joke's on you guys. And two, because I didn't even know. Was this just some useless talent that I'd found a way to make extremely marketable for a very short period of time, and when it was up, I'd just be the adult looking back on her college a cappella glory days? I didn't want that. Now, I don't know what your useless or hidden talent is, or maybe it is a more marketable skill that you have, but you just haven't found a way to incorporate it into your daily life yet because you think it's impractical or you don't think you're good enough. This summer, I had the pleasure of working with youth with disabilities at an organization in my hometown. It was my last day yesterday, so of course I was crying all day. But one of the surefire ways to improve the client's mood sometimes was by beatboxing. And I taught a ton of them how to beatbox and the basic beatboxing sounds, and you would be amazed at how much better some of them were than my coworkers who tried, and yeah, they made them look really bad. And the academic in me wants to say, like, that's great and all, but you don't have any empirical evidence on that or anything. No, not yet. Not yet. But the thing is, beatboxing has been used as a therapeutic intervention all around the world, and I feel like we're onto something here. So there's a place in New York City called Beat Global, which uses beatboxing, breakdancing, songwriting, and music production as a way to empower underserved youth. South Thames Cleft Service in London uses beatboxing as a speech therapy intervention to help individuals with cleft lip and cleft palate improve their speech abilities. Lavelle School for the Blind and Perkins School for the Blind in Massachusetts and in the Bronx each use Beat Global interventions to help individuals who are visually impaired with their self-esteem. So it can be used. Now, I'm getting used to being intrigued by a wide array of topics. As I mentioned earlier, I also am a horse lover, and another thing that I've gotten very involved in doing is equine facilitated therapy, which basically is just a therapeutic use of horseback riding and horses. I always say that I'm the horse girl that you knew in elementary school, but evolved into her final form. And for the longest time, I wanted to use horses and how they'd changed my life as something that I could use going forward. And when I was in high school, my high school guidance counselor told me, "Oh, you have too much potential to do that. You should be a doctor or a vet or something since you like animals." Which that's just like a whole lot to unpack there. But so I had resigned myself to thinking that equine therapy was just a pipe dream or something impractical, even though it was something that I'd wanted to do since I was a teenager. See, I had an eating disorder in high school, and one of the most therapeutic things for me was being around my horse Gracie and how much she changed my life just by being around her all the time. And so I wanted to use that going forward to help people like me. And now, almost 10 years later, I think, after high school, I'm able to do that. I'm in the process of becoming certified through 2 amazing programs in La Crosse, where I live, and they've welcomed me with open arms. I'm well aware that I march to the beat of my own drum, In my case, I make the drum myself. And I have found that in the most seemingly trivial situations is where we can be at our best. I mean, look at me, I'm a beatboxer. For some people, it doesn't get more trivial than making drum noises with your mouth. Or walking down UK's campus sidewalk and deciding to turn around. Or bringing my clients out to meet my horse Gracie and watching as this 900-pound animal is so gentle with these kids, and having one of your clients come up to you and after just getting to be around a horse and brush them and love them, that it was one of the best experiences of their life. Or calming down an agitated child just by beatboxing for them and making them smile. Do you know what a cappella music sounds like without a bass or a beatboxer? It can be good, but it's that much easier to get off tempo, to not build the piece. It can be the heartbeat of the music. So when people ask me now, how can I use beatboxing? How can I possibly use such a useless talent? I have an answer now, and one that I'm proud of. Your useless talents aren't as useless as you might think they are. For example, my best friend Caroline, who's in the crowd, shout out to you, girl, used to be a competitive figure skater. And she was really good. Not like Olympic level, but still very high level. But, you know, she didn't make it to the Olympics, so isn't that just like 15 years of her life wasted? No, it's not. I want to make that clear. No, she's going to make an amazing coach, and she already does. And just like I've gotten to see myself become so resurgent about using my love of horses and beatboxing in my future career, I've gotten to see her rediscover her love of skating and get to use that going forward as a coach and maybe in other capacities. I mean, she flings herself around on blades. That's way more hardcore than beatboxing. Or someone else I knew in college was really good at that cup and ball game, kendama, and he can do all sorts of tricks with it, like competes, has sponsors, has his own kendama line. Like, who does that? That's amazing. Mark Twain once said, name the greatest of all inventors, accident. And I'm sure you guys have heard by now that some of the greatest inventions in the world were created by accident. And those things would never have been created had whoever invented them was only seeing them in this one specific way that they could be, as useless or mistakes. I believe that no talents or strengths or skills are useless. I believe that we only need to allow ourselves the creativity and freedom to use them, however simple or involved that may be for you. Thank you.